And we'll begin with a few introductory comments. As a courtesy to everyone here tonight, please make sure that all cell phones are turned off. I also want to take this opportunity to welcome a new planning commissioner, Bob Koswab. It's nice to have you with us, Paul. The Planning Commission will convene as the Zoning Board of Adjustment to consider item number 1, approval of the minutes from November 23rd, 2015, and items 2 and 3, requests for variance. For the meeting agenda, we will follow our normal hearing procedure by requesting planning staff to present a report on each item, and then request the petitioner to come to the podium and make a statement or answer any questions. Anyone from the audience wishing to address the item shall be recognized by the chairman. Move to the podium, state your name and address for the record. The Board of Adjustment will then discuss the matter and take appropriate action. After item number 3, our board will convene to the Planning Commission. Action taken on the variance may be appealed to the Circuit Court in a manner and form as provided by the statutes of the state of South Dakota. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the November 23rd, 2015 Board of Adjustments meeting?
So moved.
Second.
A motion is made and seconded to approve the minutes from the November 23rd, 2015 Board of Adjustments meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 2 is variance 16-01. It is for a rear yard setback, It's at 46256 West Shore Place, approximately 5 miles south of Hartford. David?
Good evening, Commissioners. David Heinold, Planning Department. The property is located on the west shore of Wall Lake at 46256. As you can see right here outlined in red. Petitioner Laverne Haas is requesting a variance for the rear yard setback along the lake shore to allow a proposed addition. We'll skip forward the next in the Exhibit A, which is in the staff report as well, which notes the proposed addition and the setback length 22.2 feet from the rear yard setback or rear yard property line as it is right now. Skip forward, here's the site plan showing the proposed addition, which comes out towards the lake about 16 feet. And then the 22 feet would be the closest point on this north side of where that proposed addition would be. The side yard setback doesn't change. It's at least 7 feet from the property line from the side. So the main reasoning, the reduced setback would be 30 feet to 22 feet. Proposed addition, staff has gone out and checked the property and will not be located any closer to the rear yard property line than what the front yard, or the house is presently set back from the front yard. You can see on this attached site plan, it's about the same. On January 27, 2016, staff inspected the property and took pictures of the site. This picture that's included, skip forward. This is just looking at the petitioner's front yard, and then this is looking at the side yard towards the lake. And this is the picture that was included with the staff report. As you can see, this point right here is where that 22 feet extends to, well, let me back up. This tree that's located right here, this point right here is about 27 feet to the tree. Property line would be just inside of that tree, about 22 feet, which the petitioner is requesting is the reduced setback to the property line from that proposed addition at the closest point. And then beyond that tree is basically where that begins to edge in towards the lake, where the natural lay of the land goes down towards Wall Lake itself. Just skipping forward here, this is the property to the north. Some of the properties let me go through some criteria. The Zoning Board of Adjustment shall not vary the regulations unless it shall make findings based upon the evidence presented to it in each specific case that all the following conditions are present. A, that specific circumstances or conditions such as exceptional narrowness, topography, or siting exists. The site of the requested variance is located on a portion of the west shore of Wall Lake and is subject to certain edging of the landscape or the lake. This area also lies within the 100-year floodplain, but the proposed addition indicated on the attached Exhibit A with the site plan is shown to be about 49 feet from the base flood elevation at the closest point, or that north edge of the proposed addition. B, that the variance does not grant a use which is otherwise excluded from that particular district or diminish or impair property values within the area. The reduced rear yard setback will not permit a use not permitted in the zoning district or likely cause a significant change in property values in the area. The proposed addition for the requested variance will not be located any closer than some of the neighboring properties. Mainly the house to the north has an addition that extends closer to the lake than what the petitioner is requesting as far as the reduced setback to the rear property line, and those property lines are the same from the petitioner's property and the property to the north. And would have a larger setback area from the grass landscape edge adjacent to the base flood elevation line from the petitioner's property to the northeast of that. That due to the specific circumstance or existing conditions, strict application of the zoning ordinance would be an unwarranted hardship. Given the current lot sizes and layouts around Wall Lake, strict adherence to the setback requirements would be a hardship. Allowing the reduced setback will allow modifications to occur, which will make this unique parcel more useful. D, that the granting of a variance is not contrary to public interest and is in harmony with the general purposes and intent of the zoning ordinance. The requested setback from the rear yard property line for the proposed addition does not present a case in which the granting of a variance would otherwise be contrary to public interest. The variance will allow the property owner to utilize a unique lot arrangement formed by the natural layout of the land. Furthermore, staff finds that a reduced setback would be in harmony with the general purposes and the intent of the zoning ordinance. E, that because of the circumstances or conditions, there is no possibilities that the property can be developed in strict conformity with the provisions of the zoning regulations, and that the authorization of a variance is therefore necessary to enable the reasonable use of the property. Many of the existing dwellings, including the two adjacent lots to the north, as I mentioned, the one property to the north, 46254, and then this is looking south from the petitioner's property, that neighbor adjacent property. Their addition doesn't extend encroach within that setback. It's the two properties to the north of the subject property that have additions that extend further than what the petitioner is requesting to the rear yard property line. Since many of the, including the two adjacent lots to the north of subject property, already encroach on the setbacks within the developments and other properties around Wall Lake, which presents justification for the continued allowance of decreased setbacks due to precedents on similar unique small lakeside lots. So staff recommends approval of variance 1601 to reduce the rear yard setback from 30 feet to 22 feet. And I'll answer any questions if you have them. That's it. Thank you.
Commissioners, any questions?
One more thing. I did speak with the Game Fish and Parks, and this is mainly for the petitioner's information. I've spoken with him about this, if he's doing any alteration of the lake side. This is kind of a side. It's not really related to the variance application, but they need to speak with, the petitioner needs to speak with the Game Fish and Parks if he's going to be doing any altering of that shoreline. And they have no concerns over the requested variance.
Is the petitioner here?
Yes.
Is anyone else here contesting this in the audience?
Madam Chair, did the petitioner want to say anything?
Would you like to come to the podium, sir?
The reason we're requesting is the bedrooms within the unit are quite small. 2 of them are only 9 feet wide, and they have 4-foot closets in them and so forth. We'd like to do some remodeling in there, providing we can get the room to add on to the north side, the lake side. And the unit will not set out any further than the fence is now. We'll be removing the fence and putting a bedroom or something there.
Any further questions?
Sir, does the public have access to the shoreline back
No.
along the lake?
None of those areas, those homes, I believe, have access for the public.
Any other further questions for the petitioner? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'd move to approve the variance.
Madam Chair, is there any opposition at this point?
I asked her and
Okay.
they said, nobody raised their hand.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion's made and seconded to approve the variance 16-01 to reduce the rear yard setback from 30 feet to 22 feet on the property 46256 West Shore Place, approximately 5 miles south of Hartford. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 3, variance 16-02 to reduce the minimum lot size from 1 acre to 0.62 acres. That is southeast corner of 257th Street and 469th Avenue, approximately 1 mile west of Crooks.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairman. Tonight is a variance request 1602. This is, as you indicated, a lot size variance request. As you know, the minimum lot size in the agriculture zoning district is 1 acre. The applicant is requesting a smaller size, 0.62, so slightly over half an acre. The lot size would be approximately 120 by 225 feet, and this equals approximately 0.62 acres. The applicant has indicated that they are planning to construct a metering facility on that site, which will be a conditional use permit that you will hear as the planning commission. So right now we're looking just at the variance for the lot size. This is going to be a pumping station for the Lewis and Clark water system, and I will let you know that we have done several of these for Lewis and Clark and other water pumping stations, facility metering stations for natural gas, where they have come in and gotten lot size variances. As David indicated, there are many criteria that we use to evaluate variances, and not all of the events that we run up against or that we work with apply or neatly fit into the zoning ordinance. So sometimes we have to have a variance, and this is one of the cases where it doesn't make sense to use up valuable agricultural land just to meet a lot size variance or a lot size requirement when a variance will meet the needs of the public. And as we had just heard, we are to take into consideration the overall good of the public, and in this situation, a reduced lot size is in the public's best interest. This is a fairly clear-cut variance request, and the proposed use will be part of a greater water system which will supply water to hundreds of thousands of people in the region. And there is obviously an overall need for this, and this is a use that will be in harmony with the purpose and the intent of the zoning ordinance. I have some pictures, and we'll go over those quickly for you. This is the location of the subject property. It's at the intersection of the 2 roads that the chairman indicated. It's about 1 mile west of Crooks. Straight north, you can see right here are the Crooks City lagoon systems, and this is in the northwest quarter of that section. Here's the proposed lot. This is the general site plan that was submitted by the applicant, and as I indicated, we'll be considering the conditional use permit as you reconvene as the planning commission. The site is basically right now an empty field, and you'll see that this is looking to the east. This is looking to the north, to the west. And those are the pictures. I'll go back to the site plan. Staff's recommending approval of the variance to reduce the minimum lot size from 1 acre to 0.62 acres. I'd be glad to answer any questions that you have.
Commissioners? Is the petitioner here?
Yes.
You come forward, sir.
Good evening. Dan Sikowski, I'm Lewis and Clark's Construction Administrator, Contracts. It's not our first rodeo together. It's pretty cool. We're starting to branch out. This particular meter station, pump station will supply water to MCWC, Minnehaha Community Rural Water, and the City of Madison. The main pipeline itself will only, it's kind of a fix to help Madison get some water. They're really hurting really bad. So we worked a system out where we can actually get water to MCWC, and then from MCWC to Madison through Big Sioux. So it's kind of a piecemeal thing temporarily, but it's obviously a needed thing. The building is the same as the other buildings. It's a varnished block, relatively nice looking. For a building, it's a nice looking facility.
Any other questions? Any opposition from the audience? Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
Second. Motion is made and seconded to approve the variance 16-02 to reduce the lot size from 1 acre to 0.62 acres. This is approximately 1 mile west of Crooks. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I now need a motion to adjourn the Board of Adjustment and convene as the Planning Commission.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.